Alright, so one minute wisdom from the Rebbe for today. So we know that when the Jews were traveling in the desert, the tribe of Dan was the last camp, and they would go at the back of all the camps, and they were the ones who would collect the lost objects of all the camps. Now what's the idea of this, is that it says in the Gemara that someone who always says, tell me the judgment, tell me the ruling, must come from the tribe of Dan. This means that someone with this mindset of Dan is always asking, what's the halacha? What does Shulchan Aruch say? What does God desire for me to do? And that's in general the way of serving God in the way of Kabbalah Soil. In a way that you put yourself to the side, you don't necessarily understand, you don't necessarily have feelings for God, but you care what God says. And so whatever He desires from you, you're willing to do. You're totally put on the side for whatever God desires. And that's the advantage of the tribe of Dan. And this is what we also find over here, that they were willing to go in the back. Which on one hand it seems like it's something much lower, but on the other hand it's something very, very special. They were totally nullified for God. As Kabbalah Soil appears to be on lower, but in a certain sense it's much greater, because when a person's only understanding God and relating to God the way he gets it, he's getting a very limited version of God. As opposed to when he's doing what God wants, it's a much greater revelation, because you're actually connecting to God, and that's something much, much greater than anything that a human can accomplish. And that's why they were willing to go in the back of the camps. The back of the camps meant that they were furthest away from the Mishkan, they were furthest away from the holy objects in the Aron, but they were still willing to do it because God wants it. And that's for three explanations. Number one, because in a revealed sense, Kabbalah Soil is lower. Since it appears to be lower, therefore they have to be in the back of the camp, because they were in a revealed sense the lowest level. Second reason is because they were totally nullified to God, they were willing to do whatever God wanted from them. And therefore if God needs someone to go in the back, and they were the ones who were able to do it, they were willing to do it, even though it made no sense to them, and they had to give up from themselves, and they wouldn't be as close, but if that's what God wants, they were willing to do it. And the third reason is because they're actually the foundation for the whole Jewish people. Just like the legs need to be used to be able to carry up the body, so too you need to have Kabbalah Soil as a foundation. It has to be the stepping stone to hold together the entire body. And that has to also work in the general body of the Jewish people. In order for the whole Jewish people to be able to do their service to God, they have to have Kabbalah Soil as a foundation. This is a lesson for us as well. You can be a totally complete person learning Torah and connecting to God. If you're lacking this commitment and willing to do what God wants, you're not willing to love another Jew and have love another Jew as yourself, you're totally missing the point, and you don't have a real revelation to God. But when you're totally nullified to God and you do what He wants and you learn Torah because He said so, then you're actually connecting to God much greater than a human can ever accomplish on his own. L'chaim, l'chaim.